Welcome to the show. I am your host, Jay Gonzalez, along here with my co-host, folks, Johnny. Make some noise for Johnny. We got a great show for you today, folks. We are going to be covering what is a high-value man, and can you forgive a cheating spouse? All that and more right after this. All right, we're back, folks. We're back. And topic number one is coming from Erica DeLeon from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you, Erica. And she's asking, what is a high-value man? Is it a man with money? Is there such thing as a high-value woman? Can he have kids and still be a high-value man? Are they cheaters? All right. You want to kick this one off, Johnny? You want me to kick it off?
Why don't you take this one?
All right. For those of you guys that don't know actually what a high-value man normally it is the 3 6s, as I like to call it, the evil 666. 6 feet, 6-pack, and 6 figures normally qualifies you as a high-value man. Well, at least that's what the world has known a high-value man to be. Now, some might not agree with that. You know, some will do agree. But in my opinion, yes, that does make a high-value man, but there is more aspects to it. I don't think it's just those 3. What do you think, Johnny?
When I hear high-value man, I automatically I go to money. You know, high value is how much money he makes.
Right.
You know, 100%. That's the first thing I go to,
Mm-hmm.
and then I try to rationalize and say, maybe it means high value as he's a family man, or high value he does so many things around the house, or high value he's great in bed.
Actually, none of those things normally are included, but I'm sure they would love it. Those would be extras. But
right, and that's my mind, though. In my mind, I try to rationalize that, maybe high value means all these other things, but the reality is, high value man is all about his status quo, where he's at in society as far as financially, and his titles and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, the issue with the high value man is that there's so few of them. Okay, there's so few of them, and women, they find themselves chasing after roughly 1% of the men that are available. So, and on top of that, a high value man, to answer your question, because she's asking if they are cheaters, their options are huge. So of course they're going to be cheaters. So if you're expecting to meet a high value man, if you do have the ability to meet him, okay, rest assured, he's got his options open, and if you think he's going to be 100% faithful to you, you better be able to bring that magical, you know what I mean. I don't want to say it because YouTube will ban me, but that right there has to be magical to make that man stop all his options being a millionaire or making 6 figures to stop for you. What do you think, Johnny? Can they be faithful?
Can a high value man be faithful?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're asking?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Depending on how much he has to lose.
Depending on how much he has to lose. That's a great answer. Yeah, I mean, that varies based on how far she's got with that high-value man. So whether she has kids with him, I'm assuming that would be more to lose or something like that.
If they're married without a prenup. Right. Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing, though. High-value men, when they do settle down, some of them either settle down, they go very low, meaning she's definitely not in his category, or sometimes they attempt, because they think it would work, to join up with a high-value woman.
Hey,
okay?
I think it will be right to get with something that's lower than your status, like completely like bottom low almost, where you can do as you please, and that woman is trapped to letting you do those things.
I mean, I wouldn't want to say trapped, but I mean,
well, if she's living the lifestyle that you provide her, right? Like, what she's gonna do? She's gonna walk away from that. She's already used to living a certain way. Now, if they're married and she has a stake in that relationship, she could probably walk away and take half of what that man has. So,
she possibly could, but two alphas cannot be in the same house. A boss man and a boss babe cannot, because they don't need each other. So if a man normally, when he tries to look for a high value woman and he's a high value man, they're gonna clash. Somebody has to be the boss to pay the cost, and those type of women don't always submit. They still want to make sure that they have all the say-so in their relationships, etc. Now, I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm just saying very few will. So hopefully that answers your question, Eric. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Johnny, on that topic.
Not really.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on at this point. And this one here is cheating spouses, folks. Chris Torres from East Chicago asked, can you forgive a cheater? And can you tell if your girl is a cheater by the type of friends she keeps? So why don't we start there before I read the rest of the statement. Can you spot a cheater by the friends she keeps? Johnny.
Not necessarily. Not by the friends that she keeps. But you can spot a cheater by the things that she does. You could read the red flags. There's signs that you can
share some of the red flags, Johnny, if you know any.
There's plenty. There's plenty that I could share. I don't know how much time we have, but I'll point out a couple. How's that, right? Let's say you've been with this person for a long time, and some of their routines have changed. What routines? There's many routines that they have, but let's say they wake up in the morning and when they get ready for work, it's extended. They're doing their hair, they're doing their makeup, they're making sure they look a certain way from months or even years ago. It wasn't that severe. Those are little signs that you kind of take, and you have to kind of like remember or really put together. There's other things like not coming home at a certain time. Work. She gets out of work at 5:30. And, she usually gets home around 6 p.m., but now it's 6:40.
The famous working overtime excuse.
And you know what? She might be working overtime, right? Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. But when you investigate and you really look into it, is the money making sense? Is the overtime showing on checks? Do you see pay stubs that have a different amount on it showing that overtime is there? Those things.
So you think a man should be looking at his woman's paycheck stubs to make sure she's working the hours she's claiming?
I mean, if the red flags are there, if you're starting to realize that things aren't adding up, and obviously there's the go-to, family plan.
Okay.
If you guys are on a family plan on T-Mobile or whatever phone you got, you can always look into numbers, and you start seeing a lot more numbers in there that don't make sense. You could kind of look into that.
So let's go back into pretty much the question that she asked. Actually, he asked. I apologize, Chris. Which was, can you tell if she's a hoe by the type of friend, or a 304 by the type of friends she keeps?
I you know what? I'm gonna answer this. Her friends that she keeps are the girls that she wishes to be. Okay, she might not be a hoe or 304.
Right.
She might not be, but she envies those girls because they have the freedom and they're wild and they come and go as they please.
But if she's part of the pack, then she is one of those girls.
She might be wanting to be one of those girls. I'm not saying she is, but there's a good chance that she's heading that way.
Well, I think it also varies what type of friends that she keeps. In my opinion, you could tell a lot, again, and you find me bringing this up quite often, based on her social media. If she's in there with her friends and they're at the clubs and there's jacking up some men or shaking, twerking in some videos with 178 followers, likes on it, clearly that might be an indication that her friends are hoes. Okay? Or 304s, I apologize. And if they're 304s, definitely, honestly, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You are who you hang with.
Hey, you know what? I've seen it vice versa, where the friends aren't the ones that are out there, but the girl is. Man.
Oh yeah, she could be the leader.
That's
when you're dating the leader of them.
The leader. You got the number one, huh? The number one.
Yeah, the number one, and that's definitely one that I don't want at all. You can keep that. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the last portion.
Hey, real quick though, another sign is when you've been with this person a long time and their cell phone never had a password, and a password appears. that is a red flag. When out of the blue you grab that phone to use it for whatever reason and it has a password and it never had a password before.
Well, you know what? I've always set a password on my phone. So I mean, I since every phone that I buy, in case I lose it.
I just said if it never had a password.
Right, I heard you.
And it comes with a password now, just out of nowhere. And that's one of the excuses. Oh, that's just in case I lose the phone. I don't want no one to be able to get into it. Okay.
Makes sense though.
It makes sense until you get into that phone.
And verify there was other stuff she was hiding.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. Okay. So again, in the last portion of his statement, does it matter the amount of men that she cheated with, or is one enough?
It only takes
to forgive.
It only takes.
Yeah.
It only takes one.
So if she cheats one time, would you forgive?
No.
So it only takes one. Okay. And I agree. But at the same token, it also depends on how deep feelings you have for this woman. How long have you been with her? How do you love her? You know, is she just a woman that you've been dating for 8-9 months,
right?
And you have feelings for her?
Absolutely.
You know, that could hurt.
Levels.
Is different
right.
type of hurt.
Right. Absolutely.
You know? And there's a different type of expectations. For example, if you've been seeing her for 9 months, but let's be honest, you've probably went out on 2 dates with her, if that. Yeah, sure, you talk a lot on the phone. You probably DM her a lot on Messenger. But that quality time, if another man is, because again, usually when they do cheat, it's usually with a friend, coworker, etc., or somebody that her girls hooked them up with. So that being said, if that individual is putting in more time than you are, and she ends up cheating, well, in actuality, you really didn't take her that serious to lock her down to prevent her from seeing other people. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think, John?
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all. I mean, if you wanted to keep her, you know, you should have put the time in and the effort. You know, someone else creeped in there because you left the door open.
Right. So hopefully that answers your questions. I do appreciate you submitting them. And again, for those of you guys watching, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you haven't already to receive all the new content as we drop them. Now remember, to the next one, you ain't living life unless life is controversial. Peace out.